So you sold your house for $400,000 and you're thinking, awesome, I'm about to get a $400,000 check. Hold up. There are some costs that come out of that big number before the money actually hits your account. So today we're going to break down what those costs actually look like when you sell a home here in South Carolina. Don't worry, I'm going to make it make sense. And I promise you that you will survive the math portion of this video. Hey y'all, I'm Holly Ann Simpson, your real estate guide here in the Tri-County area of Charleston, Berkeley, and beyond. I specialize in helping folks just like you buy and sell everything from land to lakefront gems. My goal is to give you real info and real support so that you can make confident decisions. So let's dive in. First up is property taxes. In South Carolina, we pay our property taxes at the end of the year. So when you sell your home, you'll need to cover the portion of the year that you actually own the home. And this is called prorated property tax. So say you close in August 15th. You're on the hook for January 1 through August 15th. And the buyer is going to pick it up from there. Your closing attorney will calculate this and deduct it from the proceeds at closing. If there are any unpaid property taxes from the past, those too will be calculated. So the property tax man is going to be made whole at the closing table. Buyer's concessions. All right, so these are the costs that you as the seller may agree to pay on behalf of the buyer to kind of sweeten the deal. It could be part of closing costs, repairs, even helping them buy down their interest rate. Sometimes buyers ask for extras like a home warranty, a new survey, or a termite and moisture clearance letter. These can all fall under concessions depending on the negotiations. And yes, even the buyer's agent commission might be negotiated as a concession. Every deal is different, and that's why having an agent who can explain what you're giving up and what you're getting in return is key. So let's talk about attorney fees, all right? So South Carolina requires an attorney to close real estate transactions. For sellers, these fees usually range from $800 to $1,500 depending on what's involved. But you're not just paying someone to show up with a pen. This usually includes preparing and reviewing the closing documents, processing your paperwork for payoff, managing any power of attorney forms, e-filing all the required forms with the courthouse, coordinating lien satisfactions, title issues, and document prep. They are the behind-the-scenes MVPs who make sure that the transaction doesn't go off the rails. And honestly, they are worth every cent to make sure that you get to the closing table stress-free. Ready for math? I love math. I'm such a nerd. So South Carolina charges a deed recording fee, and here's the formula. Ready? It's the sales price divided by 500 times $1.85. So let's use an example. Let's say that your home sells for $375. Okay, you take the purchase price of $375 and you divide that by 500, and that equals $750. Then you times that by $1.85, and that equals $1,387.50. Or if you're into that new age math, you can divide the sales price by 1,000 and multiply it by like $3.70. It's the same thing. Pick whichever version doesn't make your eyes glaze over. All right. So that's the cost to file your paperwork and officially transfer the property to the new owners. It's a small price to pay to make it official, right? It's unavoidable. So now let's talk about the not so fun stuff. Debts tied to the home. If you still have like a mortgage or any other liens, those must be paid off at closing. Same goes for any unpaid HOA dues or fines. But don't worry, you don't have to write a check. The closing attorney is going to take that out of the sale proceeds and send the money directly to where it needs to go. Because trust me, the lenders do not want to count on you mailing them a check later. Now, I get asked this question all of the time. Do I have to pay capital gains tax? The short answer is this, maybe. It all depends on how long you've owned the home, how much profit you're making, and whether it was your primary residence. But I'm not diving into all of that in this video because that kind of deserves a whole video on its own. And yes, that one's gonna come. But just know this could be part of a closing cost conversation with you and your CPA. I cannot give any tax advice, okay? Just saying. Now let's talk about agent commissions. When you listed your home, you signed a listing agreement that included the terms of paying commission. What you're paying your listing agent and any cooperating brokerage agency, that's a contracted cost. It is not a fixed cost. And while I won't get into specifics here, it is part of your total closing cost, and it will be deducted from the proceeds at closing. If you have questions about how that works, let's talk one-on-one, okay? Seller net sheet. So now that we've talked about where the money goes, how do you know how much you're actually going to walk away with? And that's where the seller net sheet comes in, and that's where the nerd in me loves to be, okay? So it's an estimate of your proceeds after closing costs are deducted. Now remember, it is not exact, but if you've been honest with your agent, your attorney, and yourself, it should be in a really solid ballpark. And honestly, it's one of the best tools we can use together when we're planning your next step. You see, knowledge is only power when you put it to use. And that's where I come in. Whether you're dreaming of a life on a lake or a new chapter in Charleston, here to guide you every step of the way. So don't just watch, subscribe, explore more videos, and when you're ready, jump on my calendar. Let's make your real estate goals happen together. Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching.